Welcome back to Speedweek. Well, earlier in the show we said we'd be showing you some newer categories, and we're going to do that right now with the Australian F4000 series from Phillip Island. The championship kicked off there for round one. One of the category's bright lights is Ty Hanger, and Ty joins us now. Ty, welcome to Speedweek.
Thanks, Wade. It was basically F4000 is European Formula 3000 chassis with the Holden V6 engine, which is with the package is Australia's fastest racing category.
In what way do you say Australia's fastest?
Basically, corner speed. These cars produce unbelievable amounts of downforce, and the high-speed cornering is very, very fast.
These cars must be relatively affordable for a guy like yourself from Gosford to get into that category? Yeah,
that they are. They're actually quite affordable. Most people would probably stand on the outside and say, oh, these cars are really expensive, but the biggest bonus for this category is the engines, because they are relatively cheap to run.
Yeah, a bit of excitement about the new Holden motor?
Yeah, the new Holden engine, it really looks great. The new engine just pulls out of the corners really, really well. And it certainly doesn't lose anything at the business end of the straight. So I'm really looking forward to having one fitted to my car.
Well, let's go see how Ty fares in the Australian F4000 Championship at Phillip Island. It's round one. He's from Gosford, he's a plumber, and he's a Parramatta Eels fan, so you've got to love that. Keep your eye out for the Plume Interiors car in the action right now.
Well, Phillip Island Raceway is the scene for round one of the Australian F4000 Championship, and it's Ty Hanger that's taken pole position for race one.
Qualifying's one thing, but racing's certainly another thing.
Got some pretty fast blokes sitting right behind you too.
Yeah, of course, we've got the current Australian Formula 4000 champion on grid 2, so obviously that's going to keep me very honest today.
Well, Neil, this is an interesting one. Sitting here second right behind Ty, what can we expect?
Hopefully I can get him off the start and try and make a fair fight of it. We've been struggling with a few little dramas with the new engine, but other than that, everything's been good. The car balance is really great. I'm really happy to be down at Phillip Island racing on this fantastic circuit in these wonderful cars.
Well, the cars are on the circuit. Let's take a look at the grid for race one. Ty Hanger on pole position, Neil McFadden alongside. Then we go to Pringle, Clearahan, and the Just Parts Magazine car of Mark West in fifth.
And then we go back to Ash Lowe, Les Crampton, Ben Crichton, Ray Hanger and Sam Dale, rounding out your top 10.
Well, nearly all the field's ready to go now. Ty Hanger sitting there on pole position. Alongside him, the man who took out the championship last year and the Gold Star. That's Neil McFadden waiting for the start. The grid is now clear. Revs start to build. A new championship and a new season about to get underway. Oh, movement there from Ty Hanger.
Wow.
They get away. Wheel spin from Ty Hanger. He doesn't get off the line all that well. Now, did he have his wheels stopped by the time the lights went out, Wayne?
More importantly, he was in front of the line as we watch two wide going down to turn one. This is where it gets interesting. Cold tyres with open wheelers is a nightmare.
Neil McFadden out in front. That's where we saw him at the end of last season, and problems further back in the field too. The 50 car of Mark West that we were just talking about started in fifth spot, or was supposed to start in fifth, but didn't quite get going.
Oh, we're looking at a big braking duel. Ty Hanger has gone from first to third. He's having an absolute shocker on the first lap.
That's a great go with cold tyres there by Ash Lowe. These are a vastly different car than we've seen out on the circuit in years gone by. We'll tell you more about that when things settle down. But Ash Lowe fighting his way to the front of the field at the moment.
Ty Hanger seems to be regrouping a little bit as he closes back up on Ash Lowe.
But while these two battle, let's face it, Neil McFadden is disappearing off into the distance. There he is. Good opening lap. Plenty of downforce developed by these cars as well.
I love this shot here as they come over Lukey and the car gets a little light, then you're heavy under brakes, and it's just a really good part of the circuit.
And look at that, some smoke coming from the back of Ash Lowe's car. They've had problems with that machine, gearbox orientated, and they've worked right throughout the night. And Ty Hanger coming down into pit lane. Back to this Ash Lowe situation. They only left the track very late last night, then came back to complete the car. Now, obviously, they've had some sort of mechanical issue as a result.
I'm just trying to work out what it could be, but Ty Hanger, he must be obviously getting a stop-go from the jump start because the wheels were way in front of the line.
Yeah, well, a tough call there, isn't it? It's going to send him back to the rear of the field. and Ty Hanger, who we saw race last year in the top 3 of the championship quite consistently throughout the season, will not be happy, and it gives this man, Neil McFadden, an insurmountable lead over he's probably one of his toughest adversaries.
And he is, of course, the defending champion, #1 on his car. Neil McFadden, I mean, just showing a clean pair of heels to everybody at the moment, doing a very, very nice job.
Yeah, look at a great driver out of a very good camp. The Rolt Racing Team Australia have had some big names in their wearing their shirts in years gone by. Scott Dixon, Mark Webber, Roberto Moreno, Nelson Piquet,
Oh, we've had a moment.
Well, a big moment. Terry Clearahan's off the circuit. Now, he was involved in a battle with Pringle, and Pringle's continued on, and Terry Clearahan is bringing the car back onto the circuit. But Wayne, look how dirty the wheels are.
Yeah, you've got to give yourself a half a lap at least. What a lot of guys make a big mistake of, they go charging down to the next corner after they've come onto the tarmac again, and they've got no grip, and they spare themselves straight off again.
Yeah, well, hopefully he won't do that, but certainly changing the front of the field around. Here's the replay, how it all transpired. Just getting on the gas a little bit too early, perhaps, Wayne.
Yeah, I think it was. That's a right-hander there that you're going through. Yeah, you could just see the back end's just stepped out and gone, hello, we're gone.
Yeah, it's very disappointing for Terry Clearahan. He's not a newcomer to this series, a newcomer to the track, yeah, sure, but has raced in this class for quite some time, so he should know the machinery by now. But, you know, cold tyres, putting the power down, the angst to get on with it. Hey, anyone can do that.
Yeah, there's plenty of horsepower in these things too, of course, as you were saying, with new engines. But not the whole field are on new engines yet. They're still waiting on delivery from Holden.
Yeah, and looking forward to this new development type of series that they're bringing into this. You know, they're running the older chassis, Wayne, but it's a chassis that's proven to be very, very good. In fact, a lot of the overseas teams that are running similar cars would love to go back to the 94 Beasts and be able to get the sort of ground effect that these machines produce.
The only thing is, you'd have to think parts are getting a bit scarce by now, but they're a great car.
Well, Terry Clearahan, as you can see, he's come back out onto the circuit. He's right in the midst of a pretty big battle. There's Ty Hanger trying to work his way back through the field after coming into pit lane for that stop-go penalty. And if he wants to catch this man, he's going to have to put in lap record after lap record.
Yeah, McFadden's doing a great job as we watch Ty Hanger now going around the outside and coming into Honda. Oh, locks up a brake. I thought he was going to spare into Crichton them, but he made it stick and got picked up another spot.
Yeah, good overtaking manoeuvre on a man who spent a fair bit of time racing in the Formula Toyota series in New Zealand and continuing his open wheeler challenge here in Australia. And speaking of the challenge, this man is laying down the law in the first race of the season. Neil McFadden crosses the line, takes the checkered flag and the win in race 1 of the championship.
And then the gentleman coming back from retirement, Derek Pingle coming second, Ty Hanger coming across for 3rd place. And I think Clearahan is going to take 4th, Crichton, Crampton, Hanger, Sandale, and then we go back to Ashlow and Mark West.
You know, David Brabham, John Bowe, Craig Lowndes, Paul Radisich and Keke Rosberg, they've all come through the camp that was owned by Graham Watson.
Well, they're originally a Formula 3000 car from Europe. Some cars are from Japanese Formula Nippon. The cars are powered by a Holden engine. The engines are quite restricted in that no one can go along playing and trying to get more horsepower than the other competitors, so therefore it becomes a driver's formula. We run on a Control Avon tyre, which is what they use in European Formula 3000. The cars are very fast. They hold all the lap records in Australia at the moment. The drivers that have learned from this category over the last 15 years, you could probably pick half the field out of the V8 series. We've had drivers such as Will Power and Johnny Reid recently that are doing very, very well in European races, that have learned their trade in these cars. The cars are actually got a lot of torque and a lot of power, so it comes down to good throttle response and good feeling for the driver to adapt to.
Yeah, 20 kilos lighter, the new motor that they're running this year too. The grid is set. Neil McFadden on pole position, Pingle alongside, then we go to Ty Hanger, Crichton, then Ray Hanger, Sam Dale, Mark West rounding out the field. Race 2 about to get underway. Green flag displayed at the rear of the grid. Race 2 of this championship about to set sail around the Phillip Island circuit, and problems for Pingle. Doesn't get off the line at all. In fact, he's bogged it right down, and Neil McFadden has been given an absolute early Christmas present.
That's what you call a gift from heaven. He just pulled away and said, see you later, and Pingle stalled on the ground. I still don't know if he's got going yet, and that's West, I think. West is in trouble as well.
Yeah, had problems getting off the line in race one. The Just Parts magazine machine gets going now and will set sight on the rest of the field, who've already got a pretty handy start. And look, difficult to get it going too, didn't they? They had 2 or 3 swipes at it. And Mark West, a great young guy, finally set sail on this race. And problems already. Les Crampton's pushed off to the side of the circuit as well. So
he's I think, come together with another car. You can see the front wing and all sorts of strife.
You know, that's disappointing, isn't it? Get out onto the grid and not go any further because of, you know, coming together. But that's motorsport, isn't it? That's what it's all about. Ty Hanger trying to stay up on the front and stay up on the podium as we go back to the 74 machine. And Les looking disappointed. He's trying to get the car going, but it's not going to be to any benefit, is it?
Well, the stones that are picked up off the tyres, just in that short space of time, how hot the tyres got.
And Wayne, it's a great new motor they're running this year too. The V6 all-alloy quad cam, 3.6 litre, 4-valve engine. It's going to be an absolute weapon of a machine. Very good on the mid-range torque. That's what the drivers are telling us after testing coming into this round.
Yeah, isn't it great also to see Holden getting so involved? As we watch Pingle obviously got his car going, so he's dicing out there as well. But Holden have really got behind the category and supplying engines for the category.
And great to see Pingle back in motorsport too. Started racing in 1981, retired from the sport, built a machine up last year, got back into competitive motorsport. Now he's going for a national class and looking very strong out there, isn't he?
Yeah, side by side as they come down. They're flat through this part of the circuit here, but gee, you don't want to be on the outside because you can be caught in the marbles. But deep under brakes as they now turn into Honda. Pingle has got the corner though.
Yeah, the Video Easy machine goes through and picks up another spot. Pingle teaming up with an old friend of his, Barry Locke, and they raced in the 2003-2004 Queensland Racing Car Championship. And this year they've decided to come back into the mainstream, as I said. And look, the guy's got a mountain of experience and is driving very, very well.
As we watch McFadden, then go back now, of course, to Ty Hanger. Now, father and son combination. Ty and his father, of course, we're talking about Ray. Now, they're Newcastle boys, so yeah. They're out from Newcastle going great guns.
Yeah, soft spot in your heart for any of the Newcastle boys.
Of course.
Yeah, look, Ty's raced it a couple of seasons in this championship. As I said, last year in race one, he's been up around the top 3, is a very competitive outfit and a very motivated race car driver, so you can expect a lot from him throughout the season. There's your race leader, Neil McFadden, leading the way at the moment. The Rolt team doing a fantastic job, as you would expect. They've had the last couple of champions in this class.
Looking at the cars when they actually decelerate. Oh, Ty Hanger's in trouble. He's slowing down.
I just gave them a rat.
Oh, we put the mocker on him. Sorry, Ty.
That's my fault. Apologies.
Oh, no. Look, he's looking in the mirrors. He's shaking his head, trying to work out what's going wrong.
It looks like almost an electrical problem by the look of that, Wayne.
Yes, Boydo. He's looking down at the dash all the time. He's trying to work out, get it going. But no, he's got his hand out. He's trying to wave the cars through. I think it's all over.
No, it's disappointing for Ty Hanger. I'm a big fan of the way he gets out there and competes on a very small budget each weekend. He's able to get out there and run a big problems for Mark West. That car has almost been turned into a canoe. It's in the tyre wall, and the Just Parts magazine driver gets up, waves his hands in the air and walks away in disgust.
Oh, Ray Hanger, Ty's father, is slowing down as well.
Yeah, he was running the older engine this weekend and unfortunately pulls off into what is effectively pit exit. And unfortunately, both of the hangers are out, so it's going to be a slow drive back home to them, isn't it?
Oh, you can imagine the conversation in the car on the way home.
Well, you know, they're usually front runners and they're usually very, very consistent and reliable race cars. So there's Ty Hanger at the moment just cleaning up. It's a carbon copy, just in a different part of the circuit. Ray Hanger's pulled off to the side of the track. Race continues on though. Neil McFadden leading the way. There's the 12 machine on screen of Sam Dale, the helicopter pilot.
Oh, he's in trouble as well. Sam's, oh, gee whiz, the guys are having all sorts of dramas.
Yeah, Sam has just come back from a tour of duty overseas. Hasn't raced at this circuit before, but has done a flying lap. That was at the 2003 MotoGP behind the stick of a Seahawk helicopter. So that's one way of learning your racing lines, Wayne.
We are on the last lap, Boydo, and that man on screen right now, Pingle, is in second place and has driven a great race, kept out of trouble, held it all together, looked nice and smooth, exiting the corner.
Well, the Pingle crew that works so hard behind the scenes would be happy happy for that man, and also this man, Neil McFadden, leading the way, and Graham Watson will have a big smile on his face because they're starting this season where they finished last, and that is at the front of the field. Neil McFadden comes down, takes the checkered flag. It's 2 for 2 at Phillip Island Raceway.
And in second place, we've got Derek Pingle. Going back to third, Ben Crichton.
And Wayne, Neil McFadden's car's been suffering from overheating right across the weekend, so it gives you an idea of how solid that new Alloy Tech engine is to be able to stand up to that.
It wasn't a good race for anyone out there except for Neil. We have a bit of a problem with the oil pressure, and yeah, it was down coming down the straight, and I had another look through turn 1 and it was even lower. Got to turn 2. Engine made a few unusual noises, so I put my foot on the clutch and yeah, engine locked up from there, so unfortunately my race was over.
If anyone was going to not finish, I thought it'd be my engine because we've been running way over temperature all weekend, and you know, testament to the Holden, you know, durability, mate. It hung in there all weekend and didn't give a problem and gave us the win.
And at the end of round 1, it's the defending champion out in front on 42 points. Pingle returning to the sport in second. Crichton, Ty Hanger and Terry Clearahan round out the 5. Can Neil McFadden make it back-to-back championships? Keep watching in coming weeks because we will bring you the entire Australian F4000 Championship.
Time to change up a cog right now. The supercarts are on the raceway thanks to Stockman Supercarts, Ben Lake Kart Engines, Omega Karts and Jeff Mitten Productions. The Youth Challenge is what a lot of people are talking about right now. Daniel Gibson is down with Jeff Mitten to find out more.
We're running a youth championships in South Australia and Victoria for superkarting this year. Fantastic prizes. The prizes are actually corporate guests to the Sandown 500 and Clipsal 500 for the winners and second and third, so it's fantastic, as V8 Supercar team guests. And the winners in both Victoria and South Australia will also receive a Formula Ford test drive thanks to GeForce Miguel Formula Ford. So fantastic prizes on offer for the Youth Championships. Eligible drivers are from 12 to 15 years old, and we've got another category for the 16 to 25-year-olds. To be eligible, you can't have raced a supercar for more than 1 year. Because we're trying to bring this championship to try and bring new drivers into the sport and bring up-and-coming drivers from sprint through superkarting into Formula Ford. So we searched around through the different Formula Ford teams and came up with GeForce Miguel because they look like the team with the most support for drivers who are up-and-coming and wanting to, you know, make their name in motorsport. We've had 3 guys from last year who competed, who are now getting a name in Formula Ford. Nick Percat, Shane Wright's got an almost fully funded Formula Ford race drive for the whole season, and he's racing at Sandown 500 and Bathurst. And Asher Johnston as well is really getting his name known in Formula Ford. So the series is already starting to bring up some talent through superkarting, and yeah, it's looking really good for the future.
Well, let's take a look at your grid right now. Warren McElveen, Brian Stockman, Robert Oakley, Gerard Siebert, Rod Prickett, Steve Cloak, Peter Bryant and Chaz Madden.
Then we go back to Shermez, Carlo Shermez, Cole, McIntyre, Bass, Sullings, Mick Crudden, Ellis and Latta rounding out your top 16.
Look at that, Wayne Russell. This is going to be an incredible race. Look at the sight. These little carts should not be deceived by their size. They will make incredible lap speed around here. Quicker than V8 supercar times. You can expect that. These things are incredible. The 250cc International Gearbox Supercar class. Man, they'll be fast around here.
McElveen absolutely rocketed off the line. I think he got the jump by about 25 kart lengths.
Well, that'll do. 8 times Australian champion, though, was Brian Stockman. Of course, the proprietor of Stockman Supercarts as well. Look at these guys firing around Phillip Island. 80 to 90 horsepower they punch out. A 6-speed sequential gearbox, just over 200 kilos. With the driver, they'll do over 240 k's an hour.
And don't forget the gravel that you just saw on the track there. They'll feel every single one of those little stones because there is no suspension on these karts. It's all done through adjusting a bar here, adjusting something there, tyre pressures, but there's no actual springs and shocks.
Still a very affordable class of motorsport, 10 grand or thereabouts in a second-hand situation, or just over 20 grand new will have you doing 240 k's around the island with your backside an inch off the ground. Over the top of Lukey Heights we go. The number 18 kart is currently our leader.
Kart 27 had a huge moment, Robert Oakley. He had a big, big moment coming over Lukey there, and I thought he was going to punt straight ahead, but he kept it all together.
Yeah, Warren McElveen doing a very nice job. There is the number 1 going right by us then of Brian Stockman.
Currently in second. And then you've got, of course, the 27 car. 27's a good number. It's a good race number.
Look at the speed they're reaching down the Gardner straightaway here as they rocket into Dewan Corner. We have 3 different categories out here today, Wayne. We have the 250 Internationals, 250 Nationals, and the 125s. And look at the speeds they're reaching around here.
As you said, these things actually do go quicker than a V8 supercar at times. I mean, 133s they go around this track, and that is fair honking. I'm just watching the car 27 once again. Robert Oakley, he's trying everything to get past Stockman, and you look at the carts, how fast are these things?
Man, the credentials of the drivers is what is absolutely amazing. Warren McElveen, his list of credentials reads like almost better than Peter Brock's. He's competed internationally. He's been runner-up in the World Supercar Challenge at Laguna Seca, pole position in 2002, and he's a 4-time 250 international champion. So these guys certainly have the runs on the board. As you said, a lot of debris on the racetrack. That's going to worry some of these guys.
Yeah, I had an opportunity to race one of these karts over in New Zealand in the national titles for the 250 class over there. And, mate, they are just unbelievably fast and accelerate like you've never seen.
A 6-speed sequential gearbox. You can bang them right through there. There's the number 7 kart just going by us. Colin McIntyre from Victoria, backed by Marin Excavations and Whizzer Racing Engines. The 41 car just blowing by us just then of Chaz Madden. Over the top of Lukey, become big lock-up from the 11 kart of Nigel Cole, the Total Trade balustrating entry.
As you see, car 41, of course, and then we go back to the leaders once again, and they're having a battle royal. Kart 27, Oakley, is hanging on side by side through turn 1. Kart 1, of course, is Brian Stockman. These guys, the defending national champion, these guys side by side through turn 1 at 230 kilometres an hour.
And not backing off one iota. The number 27 kart of Robert Oakley, a South Aussie, well, a Kiwi, based in South Australia, and they've come from everywhere, Wayne. New South Welshmen, Victorians, South Aussies as well. Queenslanders even in the field. There's even Ralph Ruprecht from the Ruprecht Motorsport entry, a South Aussie, originally a German. So plenty of international karting flavour to all of this.
And if you look at all the chassis and engines and that, you've got Stockman, Zips, PVPs, MR2s, which is a Stockman. Stockman's very, very strong in this category. You've got also top kart, Vipers. So very, very wide variety.
Look at this, 3 wide into turn 1 to Dewan Corner we go. Some fabulous looking karts. Some of these guys going with the big fairings. The number 43 kart just going by just then. It's Peter Carter, backed by the Cadillac Windscreens Lennis Steel team. The number 3 kart just banging right through there as well. Grant McFarlane, the More Ink Line Tattoo entry.
Second and third still having a great die, Stockman and Oakley. And I think Stockman has got the upper hand, but I don't know if you want to be in front at this stage because of the drafting situation.
Look at the speed they carry down Gardner Straight, and they go into Dewan Corner. The 27 kart up the inside and makes it stick. Oh, that is frighteningly fast. Robert Oakley, take a bow, son. Look at the pass.
But have a go at these down the inside. Okay, you've got Oakley going down, Stockman having to concede. I thought Stockman might try like last lap and stay on the outside, but no, made it all happen. And Oakley's pulled out a gap.
Stockman Supercarts, Ben Lake Kart Engines, Jeff Mitten Productions and Omega Karts bringing us the coverage from Phillip Island of the Supercarts. We have a runaway leader at the moment. I think it might have been the 48 kart. Starting to get away a bit just then.
18 kart it was, Warren McElveen doing a great job. Oh, look at the kart bounce through the corners with the grip off the tyres.
Got Retrovision sponsorship as well as McElveen. His list of honours is absolutely as long as your arm. As we were talking earlier, Max Marine and Soundies Retrovision. He's from New South Wales, doing a heck of a job. Carlo Chamaz looking to make the pass, going into Honda on Peter Bryant, and does so very nicely. So Chamaz through. We are into the final lap of this race here at Phillip Island.
Yeah, what a good race it's been. When you go back and look at McElveen, I mean, McElveen has really just done such a good job.
He's done so well. We've barely seen him. He's been that far out in front. Of course, these bike engines, 250cc motorcycle engines. There he goes, heading towards the Checkers. McElveen, an excellent job. Checkers coming out. Some frantic speeds here and some great racing from the supercarts. McElveen will get the win.
And then in second place, Oakley, Stockman, Chamaz, Bryant, Madden, Cole, McCrudden rounding out your top 8.
In the 250 International. Was it well done, mate?
Thank you very much.
Well, what's it like, you know, punting around this thing at Phillip Island?
It's very exciting. It's a fantastic racetrack, even for these, only 250cc, but they're like pocket rockets. They're so dynamic, they just handle so fantastically. It's great fun.
Jace, well done, mate. In the 250 National, you came first.
Yeah, no worries, yeah. It's been a great weekend. Put on pole by a few seconds and then everything to run extremely well. It's a real credit to the team. The hard effort that they've put in for the last year has really paid off, and yeah, and everything's working well.
Well, Sam, congratulations, mate. First in your class for the 125s. You must be pleased.
Yeah, I am. Got a bit of a fright there. I didn't do the second qualifying yesterday and the guys caught me up a fair bit. I knew I could do my times consistently. I wasn't sure if they could. Still ran on some old tyres, so I'm putting some new ones on now. Hopefully I can keep it up and the tyres don't affect the chassis too much.
Man, supercarts around Phillip Island, that is a scary proposition. Those guys are brave. Coming up after the break, though, it's the Speed Energy Drink Australian GT Championship Porsche Drivers Challenge. Wait till you see some of the cool race cars on the track after this.